The Lord is our shepherd, I shall not want. Him maketh I like down in a green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water them. Him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea, though I rasta, I go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Uno prepare a table before I in the presence of our enemy them. Uno anointed I head with uno oil, the cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy, I go follow I all the days of I Ivan. May I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Jah, Kadamawe Gromabia Tela E Exag Beer Tanaistalina Bashante Shante 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 Kadamawe Gromabia Tela E. This is the Black Pot, aka Coco Show them on, where we speak truth to power. And of course, my name, Black Rasta. In every traditional African home, there is a black pot, and each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something sumptuous cooking, ingredients of so many different types, shapes, and sizes. Vacate, putting aside and relegating to the background all their differences and relocating into the black pot. To be subjected to some amount of heating, they produce food. Now, the food does not even benefit the black pot, neither does it benefit the ingredients in the physical sense of the word benefit. But me and you, who are the eaters, we are those who benefit from that. Interestingly, every time they are called to duty, the black pot and the ingredients, they rise to the occasion. Selflessness. What do we learn from this? Very simple. A lesson of selflessness. How many of us are ready to plant trees, knowing very well that we will not live to benefit from the shades and the fruits of the trees? Yet, we will plant the trees. How many of us say, oh, let's eat it all, after all, tomorrow we die? How many of us even repeat to ourselves, oh, when you die, you are conscious of nothing. Nothing ever perturbs you. Therefore, live your life to the fullest in terms of satisfying yourself. This is why we are here in the black pot. It is a show of the mindset. If the mindset of the average African is right, every other thing will be righted. But if we have a wrong mindset, it doesn't matter how much our leaders provide for us, we will destroy everything and open our mouths wide agape, waiting for more. It's a wise man that you give little to, and before you return, it multiplies. But that takes a great mindset. If you give it to a fool, an idiot, he will destroy it and wait for more. Remember the story in the Bible, the parables of the man Jesus Christ. How many of us are able to multiply this? How many of us will destroy the very foundation? It's all about the mindset. This is a show of patriotism. And my name, Black Rasta. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. We are live on YouTube. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called Black Empire Media, and Black is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Yes, remember to subscribe, and remember to also share this broadcast so that the multitudes out there would also benefit from this. Remember to click on the notification button so that every time we come on, you'll be the very first person to see us. We want to also say thank you so much to Is It simply means in spirit, in truth. Now, if you're tired of your regular social media's negativity, yes, your social media app is very, very negative. So much violence, so much negativity, so much nudity, so much racism. Then, why worry? Live it up and latch on to the new one, which is called Is It, built by Ghanaian engineers in America, and of course is 100% positive on Is It. No negativity is entertained. There are powerful algorithms that remove and sap out every kind of negativity before it even rears its ugly head. Meet other positive-minded people there. Oh, promote your business. Connect with family and friends. Make memories that are lasting. The interesting thing is that with Is It, you can do almost everything your regular social media app does. You can go live. You can also, oh yes, you can also put out your photos and videos, upload them, of course, and tell your story, promote your business, push your brand. Download this for free from Google Play and App Store. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonemo, and we are live on YouTube. I'm most excited to be with you. This is the show you've been waiting for, and I want to thank everybody for gathering. We never take your time for granted. We are going to be very swift so that we'll be able to gather and deal with a lot of issues and see how we can make our country better, our continent better. This is the show you've been waiting for, the Blakk Pot, and my name, Blakk RASTA. Number one. This is the first thing we are looking at today. It says, Bawumia, the bogus strategist. Bawumia, the bogus strategist. And this is Bawumia. For some time now, he has come into the focus for all the bad reasons. Lies, 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 lies. Some people have decided to even call him Bawolaya. This is a vice president who has almost become a villain. He's a talkative vice president, more talkative than any other vice president this country has ever had. This is a vice president who has become most unpopular than any other vice president this nation has ever had. This is the vice president who wants to be president. This is a guy who has helped the president of the republic, Nana Akufo-Addo, to run down this country to its basic echelons, the foundations. And yet, without shame, he still comes out and tells us that he wants to be president, as if Ghanaians were idiots. I have said this time and again, if this man becomes president in the next election, I will leave the country for you so you guys will fry it as chichinga and eat it. It means that you are immune to pain, you are immune to hardship, and you are immune to foolishness. That's what it means. How can this man be sitting with the president, a lousy president like Nana Akufo-Addo, for 8 solid years? This guy run down the nation, disgrace us all over the world, and you still give him an opportunity. It means that you guys are not ready for a better Ghana. That's my point. I am not the only person who thinks like this. There's another person, and this other person is also from the political fraternity, and this is him. Everybody knows him, doesn't everybody know him? We all know him, right? Run the story, make we check it out. Bogus Strategist Kennedy AGYAPONG has destroyed Bawumia's campaign. And this is Kwesi Pratt'S. Come here. He is with the NDC. So you'd expect him to come out and say things like this. But let us consider what he's saying by the content and the facts. And let's see what we can do with it and throw away all political spectacles, right? A former Deputy Minister of Information, Felix Kwesi Pratt'S, has said that a Central Member of Parliament, Kennedy AGYAPONG, has damaged the campaign of Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to be elected flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party with his comments on how the economy has been managed. Mr. Kennedy AGYAPONG, who is an aspiring flag bearer of the MPP, fired the government for the poor management of the local currency. He stated that in March 2022, he had 40 million American dollars in cedi equivalent. 40 million American dollars in cedi equivalent. But by August of the same year, the value had dropped to 16 million because of the depreciation of the cedi. My God. You know what the man is saying? I had an equivalent of 40 million American dollars. When? 2020, right? And come this year, what is happening? He stated that in March 2022, not even 2020, just 1 year, he had a cedi equivalent of 40 million American dollars. And that has degraded and come down to 16 million American dollars. It has come down by more than 100%. He said he's angry. As a businessman, he's speaking out of pain without looking at any party colors. Run the story. Although Mr. AGYAPONG did not mention any name, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is also the head of the economic management team, and that is what you have to underline. Head of the economic management team and vice president, because he is the economic whiz kid of the ruling party. They touted his prowess and power only for him to come and show them that he's a dunderhead. That's what is happening. Head of the economic management team and an aspiring flag bearer of the MPP is usually blamed for the poor performance of the cedi. Yes. Against the major trading ones, especially the dollar. As part of his campaign tour at Kintampo East on Sunday, July 16, to be elected flag bearer, Mr. Kennedy AGYAPONG, who is also an Asin Central lawmaker, said, "We will have troubles if we don't do a clean-up campaign, a clean campaign. Because I will reply to every claim made against me." Dash. You see, let's come clean. Nobody is bigger than the truth. Kennedy AGYAPONG is a man who can go the extreme and say just anything. Sometimes without common sense coming to play. Sometimes he comes back to apologize. But this thing Kennedy AGYAPONG has said is nothing but the truth. You have a man who has been touted as an economic whiz kid. They brought him somewhere, from somewhere, we don't even know. We heard he was a British citizen somewhere. They decided to bring him on to wave his magic wand. And when he came in, he made a lot of noise. We didn't know he was a professional talkative. Ekoti brofo. He was talking, blah, 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 blah. Micro and macroeconomics, equilibrium, and Y and X axis meeting at a point that would push the economy into a booster. Today that boom has become slum. This is Bawumia. Kennedy AGYAPONG is a businessman. He doesn't care what happens with the economy. All he cares about his expenditure and his profits. He says 40 million American dollars all of a sudden within 1 year became 16, just sitting in the bank. He's angry. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye has tweeted this. I needed to see these 2 tweets that he has sent out. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye. Watch the first tweet. He says, "Bogus Strategist." And we thought it was over. He fired again. When he fired, he told the whole world that this is an economist who was taking us all the way to the IMF. The strategist who we all said was the one who was going to take us out of our economic doldrums. Remember when he told us that when the foundations are weak economically, the exchange rate would expose you. This same joker, Bawumia, came back and told us that, oh, it's not exactly like that. You know, we have had problems. COVID came in. Then we had Ukraine war. We had Russian war. And they would always try to find a way of explaining. But at the end, you will see that these are comedians. These are jokers. Ghana's political Mr. Bean. That is this guy. The economic whiz kid of the MPP. Bawumia. And shamelessly, he wants to be president. And that is what is irking Kennedy AGYAPONG. He feels terrible that this guy who led us to the IMF. But many people will not understand why Kennedy Agyapong is that mad. Come here. You remember when Kennedy Agyapong, find me his photograph, man. Find his photograph. You remember when Kennedy Agyapong told us, before we went to the IMF, that we will never go to the IMF. He said, if any nation goes to the IMF, it means that the nation has failed. Emphatically, he said his party was on a strong footing and will never ever go to the IMF. A few weeks later, the useless, inefficient government, the MPP government, whose financial boss is Kenoforiata, whose boss, lurking in the ghostly shadows, is Bawumia, decided to knock on the doors of the IMF, and shamelessly, they are still in power. Bawumia should have resigned as the head of the economic team. Kennedy should have resigned, but the shameless dudes that they are, they don't even think about Ghana. They think about getting the next lies to come and tell the people. What a useless party and useless group of crooks. This is terrible. They are still in power. Can you believe that, brethren? This is most annoying, and I am just shocked. So Kennedy was led on to believe that they would never go to the IMF. And boom, before he realized they were at the IMF, he was one of the first people to be shocked. And he swallowed back his words. He said, well, if I said my party will not go to the IMF, and we did, I am not going to lie. My party has failed. My government has failed. I can give Kennedy a chance, but I cannot give Bawumia a chance. Kennedy was only an MP. Bawumia was part and parcel of the governance of Nana Akufo-Addo. He was second in command to the failed president, who is so arrogant and doesn't even see that he has failed. He wants to build a cathedral. At the same time, this rotten president still wants to be flying around, blowing Ghana's money. Is this a serious president? If we don't talk like this to them, our children will talk worse than this to us. I'm telling you. These are guys whose common sense has left their coconuts. They are just running around like headless jacks. That's what they are doing. Bawumia wants to be president again. We have spoken enough. If you do give him the opportunity to become president, I will leave you. What does it even matter? Who am I? But to show my disdain, I will leave you so that you continue being under the presidency of a failed president and his vice. To God be the glory. To Kennedy Agyapong, I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you for being bold. I don't understand why some people say they are attacking each other. This is no attack. He's talking about Ghana. What is the attack in this? It's a clean campaign. You are a failed economist. He has already said it, that his party has failed. The government has failed. I can give Kennedy Agyapong a chance. I cannot give Alan a chance, and I cannot give that other confused Greek guy. What's his name? That guy, I cannot also give him a chance. You understand? Yes, is it Balfour, whatever. All those guys, they can't have a chance because they have been part and parcel of this dead government. Under Nana Akufo-Addo. Shamelessly, they have ruined this country. They are still giving contracts out, shady contracts all over the place. Thank God the World Bank has started investigating some of these people. What a shameless group of crooks. Dash it, man, and bring me the next thing. I'm really, really mad this afternoon. Trust me. It's very sad. Our nation is going down, just like the Titanic. And if we continue to smile at them, they will think that everything is okay. Our children are lurking in the shadows. School fees are being paid. We are growing children who are going to inherit this nasty economy. We are growing children that are going to come and inherit a nasty country, all because of these crooks in power. We got to deal with them, one after the other. Next story. Watch me. He says what? Watch. He says, Kwesi Pratt'S 16-year-old second wife. I have a story to tell you. Come here. Come here. Watch me. This is Kwesi Pratt, the Inside newspaper. He's the chief editor. He's a man I have so much respect for. There's no way Kwesi Pratt will sit and say, Black RASTA, come here and I'll give him an excuse. No, sir. I will be there. He has shown me same level of respect, if not even more. When I saw this headline today, I smiled. The Kwesi Pratt that I know, I expected what I expected, and I saw what I expected. Run the story. When Kwesi Pratt was gifted a 16-year-old as a second wife, they gave him a 16-year-old as a second wife. When? What happened? Watch this. Managing editor of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., has disclosed that he was once offered a 16-year-old by a family to be his second wife. Speaking on Peace FM's Kokroko morning show, the journalist revealed that the gesture was the family's way of showing gratitude after a publication in his newspaper helped them secure the full cost of surgery for their family member at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The woman and her daughter came to thank me nicely. Then one morning when I was getting ready to come to Peace FM, I got a strange call, and the caller introduced himself as the family head of the woman. He said they were very appreciative of what I had done for the family, and their only means of saying thank you to me is to give me a girl in the family who is 16 years to marry as my second wife, he said. Kwesi Pratt said he was shocked by the statement, as he didn't know how he would even break such a news to his wife. I told the man that I had a wife and he asked me if I'm not a man. I said I am a man, but I can't take your offer, he stated. According to him, the man took grave offense, underline that, grave offense to his decision, and that put serious pressure on him. The man got angry. He said I had insulted the family. It's a disrespectful behavior to the family. The way this issue made me sweat, it was not easy at all, he said. One of the panelists on the show suggested that Kwesi Pratt could have brought the girl home as a house help for his wife. However, the senior journalist snapped at the suggestion, saying, all my life, one thing that I hate is the idea of domestic servant. It goes against everything that I stand for. Kwesi Pratt. My brother, why did I choose this story? Kwesi Pratt didn't tell us how old he was at the time that the 16-year-old was given to him. But one thing is clear, he was married. When did Kwesi Pratt get married? He was way beyond 30 years. And a 16-year-old had been given to him as a gift for his hard work. My brother, somebody in the studio, a panelist, suggested that, oh, you could have taken the girl for her to become a house help. Is she going to be a slave? Or is he giving her employment? House help as what? Would he pay the house help? Or that is to pay him for the work that he has done? Then what is the principle or the etiquette of journalism? That when you do the work, people have to come and pay you back. Is that it? We are not saying don't say thank you for work done. But where somebody takes a fully grown human being. Remember, by the laws of Ghana, 16 is even below the age of consent to marriage. Hallelujah. Come here, Blakk RASTA. Come here. In Ghana, you have to be 18 years before you can get married. Anything beyond 18 is acceptable for marriage. But below 18, you can never get married under the laws of Ghana. Today, we are grappling seriously with our brothers and sisters in the north and also some parts of the Volta region who are getting married earlier than 16. And the women are normally the victims. 15-year-olds are getting married in the northern region too. All old chiefs who are 90 years and over. 2 years after marriage, the chiefs are dead. Some of these old men cannot even perform in the bedroom. They just look at the young girls that they got married to as statues. And that's what it is. In the Volta region, it is happening. Some are pushed into very, very terrible slavish acts. Kwesi Pratt looked at all these things and said, no thanks. family member felt offended and said, Dabi, why? We are giving you a gift. Oya ponching. Wakochi aponching sebi sebi. You are bringing it to somebody as a gift, and this is a human being. Did you ask the girl if she was interested? Has she reached the consensual age? That's one. Two, has she reached the lawful age of getting married in the nation? Never. My brother, this story teaches us something very interesting. Bribery and corruption. We are the same people who said we are free from slavery. But trust me, we are enslaving a lot of our people in this country. Walk into several workspaces. People are paid salaries that are nothing but a joke. The other day, somebody told me that his salary at work as a cleaner is 150 Ghana cedis a month. Convert that into dollars. That's about $15. That's how much the person is receiving. $15 a month for cleaning. It sounds like a joke, but that is what it is. How many Ghanaians are working with foreigners and expatriates and are paid very, very terrible fees? And the sad thing is this. When you come in, they say they are paying you an expatriate wage. And they pay the Ghanaians the Ghanaian wage. You and the expatriate are doing the same work, but the expatriate is receiving expatriate wages, and you are receiving Ghanaian wages because your nation has no respect for you. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I don't want to mention companies, but if I'm provoked, I'll mention them. The other day, some youth came over to me and told me how they were working with some Israelis and how the Israelis were treating them. I've been to Israel several times, and I know how the average Israeli behaves. I was disdained. They told me how much they were receiving. I was mad. As compared to their colleagues doing the same work, how much they were receiving, the colleagues from Israel and some other parts of the world. When I went there, they told me, oh, Blakk RASTA, it's good you came. We have tried to explain to these people, but they don't understand. By the laws of Ghana, this is the minimum wage. We are paying them the minimum wage. And the minimum wage in Israel is this. So we are paying them the minimum wage in Israel because they are Israelis, and these ones are Ghanaians. And I looked at it and shook my head. They live in the same country. They work in the same country, yet two different wages because of the color of their skin and because of where they come from. I'm not an expert in wages and all that. But I can tell you that they spend the same money buying the same things in the same country. But that is what it is. I'm waiting to hear that Ghanaians in England are paid more than the English. I'm waiting to hear that Ghanaians in America are paid more than the average American by virtue of the fact that they are coming from far away Africa, and that their minimum wage is high. When I was in England and my friend decided to push me to work for the 2 weeks that I was staying with him, and we work in a pizzeria. Yes, in Manchester. I remember that Bolton. Several years back, that was 2004, 2005. The minimum wage at that time was £4.50. I don't know how much it is now. I took the same. The British and the English who worked in the same faculty with me or department with me took the same thing. But in Ghana, it's all different. May I go further? Come here. Come here. Watch me. Listen, when you go to the British Embassy in Ghana, there are notices all over the place. Please, a mere thank you is enough. A mere thank you is enough. In other words, whatever services we are giving to you here, we are being paid for that. And proudly we receive pay, but the Ghanaian is never satisfied with how much he receives. Go to the British Embassy. See the Ghanaians working there. They still have a way of taking the bribe off camera. We are kleptomaniacs. We know how to steal. When I talk like this, some people say we are spoiling their job. Let them all come out and learn a lesson of decency. The white man has put a notice there that these people working here, we are paying them. And we are charging you so much so we can pay them. Don't give them anything more. Yet when we go there, they have a way of asking you to give them money under the table. They have a way of making you put money in the documents so you can give to them. What a dirty people. Kleptomaniacs. We never are able to accept a thank you. And Nigeria is even worse. Go to Semeboda. My brother, you can have all the papers in the world. They will still ask you to pay. And they have a way of saying settle. For settle. They say settle. To fellow Nigerians, they even do that. Is this one to a country? Are you okay, Nigeria? Are you not ashamed? The money that you are taking from your own citizens, the money that you are shouting, settle, settle, would that make you rich? You are idiots. You don't have common sense. You are not even thinking about how the nation would develop. You are all corrupt. Right at the border, semi-border. Go and see them. You'll be shocked. Settle. And if you say a thank you, they tell you, now thank you be what I go chop. They don't even respect a thank you. How will the nation grow without bribery and corruption? Every now and then, to be able to go to the next chapter, you have to bribe your way through. Nobody is interested in decency anymore. Nobody is interested in hard work anymore. It's all about bribery and corruption. Today I was reading the story of Super Odi. Find me a photograph of Odi. Find me a black and white photograph of Super Odi. Super Odi used to live in Labadi from 1958 thereabout, when he was struggling for a job. All his life he wanted to be a policeman. He didn't have education, but he struggled to go through training as a driver. And when he got his driver's license and went to the police trying to look for a job as a driver, they said, okay, once you have the driver's license, it's okay, we can employ you as a driver. He had become an Ahimfie police in the days. Those of you who are younger would not understand what it is. But in the days when they just took people who were interested in working as police assistants, we call them Ahimfie police. See? Later they replaced some of these people with more qualified people. You know, when we had our independence, everything went. We want police, but they are not well trained. Okay, you come, we'll take you whilst we are training you on the job. You know, those who don't have education, we drop them one after the other. Like that, Odi was dropped. He was born in 1934, 12th January. 12th January 1934. Super Odi. He couldn't get the police job, all because of £3 bribe that he couldn't pay. £3, even at that time, in the days of NKRUMAH, there was bribery. £3 he was asked to pay so that they would take him. He couldn't get it, and that was the end. My brother, my sister, bribery and corruption, and the fact that we don't even accept a thank you as a gift. We want something more material. This is Super Odi. Super Odi. He died in 2018, right? It's sad. Very, very sad. This is Super Odi. Even without education, he rose to a level most of us will never reach before we die. To God be the glory. Kwesi Pratt'S, come here. With Kwesi Pratt'S, I want to say thank you. You have shown the quality that you are made of. That's why you are one of my mentors and heroes. There are some mentors, when they flop, we flop too, because we have so much faith in them. It's like some people who follow me, and then they see Black RASTA taking bribe. Somebody can even shoot me. Somebody can even kill me, because I have let him down so badly. That's what it is. Thank you so much for being a mentor, and thank you so much for standing for correct values. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushodomo, where we speak truth to power. When we return, we are going to be reading your messages. So remember to send the messages, right? Send the messages in. When we return, we have more, and then your messages will be read. Remember to share the broadcast. Hey! Wayo!
Blackpot, Coco Show.
This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushono. I see your messages coming in. Keep them coming, and remember to share this broadcast so that many more people would see this. Right? This is the show you've been waiting for, and we have about 30 more minutes to go, and that is what it is. We won't go beyond that. Come here. Next story. Watch the next story. It says what? Yet another NKRUMAH legacy dying. This government is on an agenda to destroy the legacy of Kwesi Nkrumah. They went into the Kwesi Nkrumah mausoleum, furnished it, and made it look nice because of pressure. I'm still asking that question. Is Nkrumah's corpse still there? I don't trust these guys. They hated Kwesi Nkrumah so much. Their grandfathers hated him. Their fathers and uncles and sisters and nieces and cousins all hated him. Because they are the bourgeoisie and they have to be leaders every time. But he came and shocked them and made sure that everything was everything. Kwesi Nkrumah showboy. When he left them and formed his own political party, he collapsed them. Everybody ran towards him and then they were all silent. Not even J.B. Dankwa was able to win a simple election in his hometown of Chebi. He was beaten by a pupil teacher, an astute politician, a lawyer of repute. He stood against a pupil teacher and he beat him in Chebi. This was the man they were going to force to be president. Tea-drinking bourgeoisie, tailcoat guys. They chased Nkrumah out with bombs. They chased him all the way in exile. They made sure that he died from several poisons. They forgot what Nkrumah said, that his body could die, but the words that he had thrown into the universe will continue to be aloft and ablaze long after he was dead and gone. Osajefo. Osajefo. They sold Gihok. Yes, they sold it, my brother. We are just waiting for the ceremony. Thor is also there. Tema Oil Refinery. They have now brought in some foreigners who are going to build one that is bigger than Dangote's right here in Ghana, and they will give us peanuts from out of it, and they carry the rest of the money away. Oh, what a slavish people. Sometimes I'm tempted to believe that some people were actually born to be slaves. No matter how much you try to turn them around, they are never malleable. No way. It's sad, but it hurts me. I just saw that another of NKRUMAH's legacies is going down the drain. Yes. This is Kwesi Nkrumah. You see the house there? I paid a visit to that house. At Hafasini. I went there. Yes, he has a similar one in Nkrumah for his own mother. It was not even built by him. It was built by E.K. Osei's father, a contractor at the time. They have left this house to rot. That's what you are seeing. Can you see it? the president's house, the first president of the nation. The house is in a state of disrepair. Look at it. Right now, if you go there, you see bats, snakes of all colors, and all venoms. You will see, in fact, rats and so many different kinds of reptiles in there and rodents. This is Nkrumah's residence. Look, it's an agenda. Do you know how many tourists will be coming into the country just to look at this? If this was a serious historical tourist country, you want to be like Jamaica, and this is how you are treating your touristic values. Jamaica has 35% being contributed to the GDP coming from tourism. We have less than 5%. These are the things that bring us tourists. Imagine furnishing this place. Imagine keeping it. And you put a curator there to tell people where Nkrumah used to stand and enjoy the sunlight and even the breeze. Nkrumah's personal study. Oh, Nkrumah's personal what? Nkrumah's personal what? Nkrumah's personal what? You know how many people will be coming here for inspiration? You know how many people around the world will be coming here? Yet you have a huge statue of J.B. Dankwa here that nobody wants to see. You have a big Lilliputian statue of Edward Akufo-Addo standing there at the Togo embassy there. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody even knows what it is. Yet these things that are better than all the statues combined, you are destroying those. It's sad. Let's read the story. Drop the story. What is the story saying? See remains of Kwame Nkrumah's official home in Halfasini left to rot. Surrounded by greenery and only few meters from the beach in Ghana's western region, it stands dejected from years of abandonment, left to the vagaries of the weather, rain, sunshine, etc. Come here! Watch it. It's falling walls, rusted metals, missing doors and window panes, plus ever peeling and worn-off paint is a testament of the stress that the one-story building has gone through and continues to suffer. This is the state of the one-time official home, residence of Ghana's first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The building was a countryside home for the then president, built by the government via the Public Works Department, PWD, according to a narration by YouTuber Wodemaya. Hold it there. It says what? That the building was a what? A countryside home, village home, for the then president, built by who? The government of Ghana via the Public Works Department, PWD. Today, where's PWD? Today, all our buildings are built by Iranians, built by Portuguese, built by British. They are the contractors who are building our things. But this state building was built by the PWD. Can you appreciate that? Next page. Look at the state of the house right now. This is the country that we live in, where people don't care about their history. They don't even consider the fact that we have to preserve our history for the next generation. The narrator claims that the facility has often hosted Nkrumah's guests, including presidents, who were usually hosted in the house whenever they visited, leaving behind the hustle and bustle of the capital to enjoy the scenery and serenity of the countryside. He's a great writer. I like his choice of words. Dash it. Dash it. This is what it is. So you see, Nkrumah's home This is what it has become. Like Mobutu Sese Seko Ngbandi was a banger's house. Mobutu Sese Seko Kuku Ngbandi was a banger. That tyrant of a leader. When you go, his home has become nothing but something like this. What happened to us? And you say you love Nkrumah? What happened to us? This is not Nkrumah's property. He didn't even own a house. This was a state house. They have left it to rot. Oh, Jesus. Dash. When we return, we shall read your letters. Hey! Wayo!
Blackpot. Kokusho.
This is the Blackpot, aka Kukushodemo, and here we speak truth to power. We're going to look at some of your messages coming in. Keep them coming, and thank you so much. We appreciate you and we love you. Okay? So this one is coming from Marcus Efya'S, and he says, and they are all religious people. Yes, they are. Some of them are even church elders. Some of them are alhajis, thieving alhajis. Muhammad Wumbe Abdallah says, Blakk, you see why our brothers cannot stay in Ghana and running away to foreign countries? A cleaner is paid 1,500 Qatari riyals. And that is equivalent to how much? 4,684. Why should a person be paid 100 cedis to buy what? But my brother, I know that survival mode has been activated. But we all must stay in the country and help it to grow. It's not bad if we go out to work and bring in the money to help the country grow as well. But in all cases, we have to look at a bigger country, a bigger picture of the nation. If we all run away from the nation, who's going to stay and develop it for us to return? Or are we saying we will never return? We will never be kings in another man's country. They would always look down on us. That is why our women are raped in Qatar and so many other places. Our men are treated so badly. They tell us to go back to our country. Are you not fed up with that? I am. When I go to America, I enter like a king. I buy food for street children. I carry myself in high esteem. I don't go begging. But they see us as beggars in their land because we come for something small. Ask yourself, Wumbe, are they paying Qataris the same amount to do the same work that you're doing? Mustafa Watara says even more teachers are being paid 150 cedis. Wow. Even some teachers are being paid 150 cedis a month in some private schools. It's so sad. Hey, Jesus. Oh, brother. Oh, now you more. Sometimes I feel like crying. Ajeduna says, Blakk, my clinic here too, in the Volta region. A clinic cleaner is also taking 150 Ghana cedis a month. I always complained, but nobody's minding me. Oh, Jesus. 150. Those of you who live in America, this is less than $15. I know what you're thinking. You are saying it's a joke. Man, you're joking, man. Man, you're joking. That's the truth. Ramadan Muhammad says, Blakk is your boy. Robles, Monitoring from Tamale. Oh yes, God bless. Okay. Monitoring from Tamale. I truly love you and would be so privileged to meet you. Why not, man? We can always meet anytime you have time, anytime you are in the city. Just holler at your boy. You know where you can find me. Health is Wealth TV says, outstanding show, brother. Keep up the great job. Blessed love. Thank you for being part of it. I never ever underestimate your contribution. Ajeduna says, Black Rasta, more fire. Yes. And then he says, more fire, Black Rasta, 100% love. 100% love to you as well. Abibu Muhammad says, pure bombs and fire. Strong Vibe says, I work hard and I send all my money back home and it has lost its value. If I try to send it back here, I won't even get half of it. Oh my God. What he's saying is that if he sends money to Ghana, they will give the money back to his family in Ghana cities. If he gets angry and says, oh, send it back to me in Qatari money, he can't even touch it. It will evaporate. That's what he's saying. No. Muhammad Abdallah says, you have been with Kufuor and Akufo-Addo. What was his impact? Thus, for Alan Cash and to Baolaya, you said you have the men, yet you dragged us into the gutters. That's the same thing we're talking about. Nyamedo Aziza says, hi, senior, please. I'm very worried and scared about the future of this, our country. Yes, I'm also worried and scared. That is why we are fighting and speaking like people who are mad. If they don't see us to be angry enough, they will take us for granted. We all need to come together and make sure that our nation changes. I didn't know that I'll grow gray beard and this nation will still be in this state. That is why I've become more aggressive. Things have to change. My mates that I went to school, some of them are dying. It means it's by grace that I am still alive. I must use my last breath to see this country change. Are you ready? Are you ready? Aflakui Senanu says, Blackpot, very addictive. My God, God bless you. I am very addicted to you as well. Let's continue fighting for the nation. Sweet Smile says, it's a brand new week. We thank God for bringing us this far. Time to speak truth to power. God bless, God bless, God bless. This is Abdul Rahman from Tamale. Petrina Otu says, God bless you, Black, and bless you, Petrina. Karim Sadat Aduku says, Black Rasta, I rest my case. May the good Lord continue to protect his people from the hands of the wicked leaders. We are proud to really have the voice of the voiceless. This one is from Zebila. His name is Karim Sadat Aduku. God's Way Jata says it's all fire. Mustafa Watara says biggest Black. Nu Muhammad Abdallah says, yo, Black Rasta, assalamu alaikum. Kaifa halak? Alhamdulillah. 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 Muhammad Wumbe Abdallah says, welcome to another Monday. Black, never turn your back to the truth. Never ever. Kai? Never ever. Has a guilt. Never ever. Never. God is with you always for your good works and much love from Qatar. Blessed love. Francis GKM Amuzu says, Woyo Black, it's been a while since your show has been aired on Pan-African TV. What is the issue? Keep doing the great works. Respect always. Well, our time on Pan-African TV ran out. And as I said, the contract ended. And we are rebranding and getting the financial muscle to be able to go back to Pan-African TV and say thank you to Pan-African TV. That is why we have not been having the program aired. We are now 100% on YouTube. In the interim, this is where you would find us. Spread the word and share the broadcast. Ajay David says, hey, he says, want to know the reason why you have stopped broadcasting on Pan-African TV. Well, I just gave the reason. Ajay David said, moreover, where is the African history class premiering? Well, it's been on. Please check the channel. The channel is called African History Class. And African is spelled A-F-R-E-E-K-A-N. Class is KLASS. Please check it out. We have a lot of things, and today the class is going to have a new lesson. So please check it out and subscribe to that page. Please also click on the notification button so that anytime we come into the class, you would also be there. Oh, you've lost a lot. We have so many lessons there. Check that out. Amevuvo Noel says, Black Rasta, keep the good work. And Amolifo Richard says, good evening, sir. Good evening, Amolifo. Nate Oko Aklebeto says, greetings to the Rutical, the Don Gagan, Black Rasta. We love you. I love you too. Max Pro says, Samba, right? Samba and Bullets watching you live from Germany. Oh, Samba and Bullet. Love and respect every time. We love you and we appreciate you. And yeah, we love you. Yeah. All right, man. So without much ado, next story. Run it quick. Keep your messages coming in. We're going to read the second batch before we go. Kennedy AGYAPONG talks employment. Who is Kennedy AGYAPONG? You know him, right? You know him. Yes, Asin Not MP. He wants to be president. And one of the things he's using to make you know that he's a patriot is the fact that he owns a coal store that is the biggest in the whole of Africa. This is Kennedy AGYAPONG. Some people call him a loose cannon. Others say he's not a presidential material. But he's going from ghetto to ghetto, grassroots to grassroots, inner city to inner city. And his message is sinking into the people. Remember, this country is made up of over 60% illiterate people. Ghetto dwellers. And this is the message he's sending to them. I have the biggest coal store in Africa. I pay 7,000 workers monthly. And this is Kennedy AGYAPONG. 7,000. That's a huge achievement for one man. A flag bearer hopeful for the new patriotic party, Kennedy AGYAPONG, has listed some of the businesses he owns whilst calling out the opponents who are on the government's payroll. I like this. According to him, he has employed thousands of Ghanaians in the various businesses. He was comparing himself to his opponents, presumably Dr. Bawumia, even though he did not mention any names when he noted that he was more of a strategist than the vice president, who is the head of the economic management team. During one of his campaign tours, he said, with my steel plant, I am employing thousands of workers in this country. By the next few months, I have the biggest coal store in the whole of Africa. As for you, the government pays you, pays your house girls, pays your security. You are living in government bungalows. Jesus. But I pay 7,158 workers every month in the country. So between the two of us, who is the strategist? This is internal politics. And so we shouldn't be dirty. But if they attack me, I will reply. He added, dash. He has spoken. I don't see this as an attack. It's the truth. You are still being breastfed. The taxpayers' money is what is keeping you alive. We hear that people around you, I don't want to personalize anything, are on shopping sprees every time. I'm investigating that. Every time there is a fashion. In Paris, some people around you very close to your bedroom are not in Ghana. They buy the most expensive makeup kits and so on and so forth. You have fashion gurus around you. Yet the taxpayers' money is what goes into your pocket. I've not heard anybody say Bawumia is corrupt. I will never say he's corrupt. I haven't heard that. And I don't think he's corrupt. He's just inefficient. He's just a comedian, a joker. He's being used left, right, and center. He's never fit for president. Kennedy AGYAPONG has spoken. And for me, he has spoken sense. He's been able to manage at least 7,158 people that he pays on a regular basis. This is a superman. One man. He claims that by this state, he is able to manage a country. You too, come. Tell us what you have done. You have failed as an economic whiz kid. You have failed as a comedian. You have also failed as a liar. Dash. Last story and we are done. The last one is interesting. It says, Efya'S drug addiction in focus. Yay. This is my sister. I told myself I was not going to talk about her again. But I think this is quite positive. So we have to look at it in that sense. Today I was just going through the newspapers and I saw something in the graphic. The National Communicator. I took it so serious because this is the National Communicator. The nation's newspaper, sponsored by the nation. This is a singer. Recently we had some to and fro, but she came out and apologized and I accepted it wholeheartedly. She's always been my sister. We've never had any problem until she mentioned some things which I wouldn't want to. Recently, she was out there granting an interview for the release of a single. Very talented singer. I might not be a fan of her music, but I'm a fan of her as in when she performs. There are some people you might not like their music, but see them perform their music. Other people, you are a big fan of their music, yet when they are performing, oh, you want to walk out. She is the opposite to me. Not so much of a fan of her music, but when I see her performing, and a lot of people say that about me, they are not necessarily fans of Black Rasta music, but when they see me perform, they love it. Performance is the key. She granted an interview and she looked all drugged and all not aware of her environment and all that. Like I had said, months gone by. But this is what the graphic has to say. It's a long story. I'm going to cut it short. Efya and drug use tag. Take action. Somebody's fed up and is using the national newspaper to say, please do something. It's another year and songstress Efya is embroiled in another tale of drug use, a situation she's grappled with for almost the entire stretch of her musical career. Oh gosh. In the latest episode of name calling and brand shaming, the singer appeared for the live recording of her new single on the African continent production outfit, Glitch Africa. Just moments after the teaser of the performance dropped online, social media and blogs were splattered with news of the award-winning artist and her supposed drug use. As usual, the news was met with varied commentary of her career being derailed by her alleged constant drug use, to her looks being heavily affected by the use of drugs and many other vile assertions. In another barrage of career and character assassination, the songstress fails to take drastic action, and that is worrisome. Long-standing accusations, dash. It's a very beautiful story you need to look at. I don't know what is happening to the family. She's not married. So I can't call the husband in. But the family is the closest to go in. I hear the family took her to several rehab centers and it doesn't seem to be working. Can we try spiritual? Or have they tried spiritual too and it didn't work? In this country, most people will try spiritual first, even if it's malaria, before they go to the hospital. But they at least went to the hospital first. And it's not working. Can we try spiritual? Right now, we have to do everything to rescue her from the jaws and claws of drug addiction. Nobody needs to be told that Efya is where she is. Can we do something? We've seen it happen to so many greats, and they visited early graves. Look at Majek Fashek, Nigeria. Look at Whitney Houston and her daughter, and many more. In Ghana, Kiki Jan, and many more that we cannot even mention. I think that we need to protect this life. The family has to stand up. If the family cannot, can the government come in? After all, she's almost like a national property. She sings. When she goes out, she flies the national flag. Can we give her that consideration? The government should take it up. Pick her up and take her into correct rehab. If the government cannot do it, what is music are doing? Musica. Can Musica, the Musician Union of Ghana, can you do something? Okay. Let's take the final messages and we are done. Yes, we've come to the end of it all. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. John Yinzor Bill says, more fire, Black Rasta, speaking truth to power without any fear or panic. We give thanks and praises. Ayo, Susanna says, more fire, Uncle Black Rasta. Oh, blessed love. Susanna, I want to believe that I know this Susanna here. Jedefu, do, chibil, says fire. And Marcus Godson says, peace and blessings to you, my Lord. Black Rasta watching you live from Denver, Colorado. Big up all the people of Colorado and big up all the people of America. Francis Amuzu says, whoa, yo, Black, it's been a while since we enjoyed your show on Pan-African TV. Well, I explained that. And Nu Mohammed Abdallah says, stay and survive. Like how? Stay and survive? Okay, I know what you're talking about. He says that is survival first. That's why I said it's not bad to go out there and work and bring home the money and work it out. That's what I'm saying. But my brother, there are so many other ways we can survive. I don't know what everybody's going through, but I think that what we are in the other countries doing, if we look deeper, we will be able to find that here. There are a lot of lands. There are a lot of genuine Ghanaians who are seeking employees. But you must also agree with me that we have a lot of Ghanaians whose mind is just that they are flying out. You went to Qatar. How much money did you pick to sit in the plane? I'm just asking you. Could you have used that to do something else in Ghana? Some of us fly with $2,000 to go to Qatar and start working. The $2,000 American dollars. Could we use it to start something in Ghana? I'm just asking. To fly out requires money. I understand that not everybody is going through the same thing. I cannot judge you. All I am saying is that if there's an opportunity to stay and sacrifice and still survive, of course, if going out is the only way you can survive, I have no problem with that. Even Islam says don't eat pork. But if your life depends on pork, eat it and drink the soup on top. So survival first. But there are situations where some people are not looking at it. They only just want to fly out. I'm not saying you are part of it, but I'm looking at different options. Marcus Godwin says, we love to meet you anytime I touch down. Love every time. I am here and I'm waiting for you, my brother. I'm only for Richard says, Blakk, Ken for president of Ghana. Your mind day or not? Well, it's better than Bawumia. That's what I just said. Summit, Starboy says, teach, Black Rasta, teach. Karim Sada says, Black Rasta, I rest my case. Prices are increasing day and night, but the labor still gets the same workmanship and salary for the past 5 to 10 years. What a sad country. From Zebila. It's true. But again, can we stay and show them that we are very angry and mad rather than running away so that they breathe? We should stay and take our hunger to them. Force them to see that this is what we're suffering from. Like I stand here and make a lot of noise on a hungry stomach. Angry. Because I receive my salary and I cannot even spend it. So many beggars all over the place. Before I receive my salary, somebody announces to my whole family, even those in the graves, that Black Rasta is going to receive salary. So they even called me from the grave. Wallahi Allah kwa we nanganga mokokoro nangana I mean kiwo. Wait. Kode ido nanga la ilaha wallahi ido nanga kama peshe. Why? Wallahi anchi nanga ka che ansa utane da min kwish. Mpush. Haba. No, Muhammad Abdallah says she saw Kodia while Sarkodia is here. So they should sit, sack down. Well, I wouldn't want to look at it in that sense. Remember, no, I know what you're talking about, but remember that this is our sister who is going down the drain. So put aside the Sarkodie issue and put aside all other issues. Survival first. When she survives and she's okay, we can beef on. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And of course, I would like to say thank you so much. I appreciate you and I love you. It's been the Blakk Pot. Love you and guidance and protection. When we return tomorrow, 5 p.m. sharp, we have more. I love you. Hey! Whoa!